Rabbitohs Radio Podcast, the number one source for everything South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Welcome to another edition of Rabbitohs Radio. My name is Grant Chappell, joined by absolutely no one. It's Team List Wednesday. Couldn't get an episode out yesterday. Brownie, Brendan, and Big Les unavailable at the moment. Teams were dropped yesterday. South had a good win on Sunday. No training Monday, no training Tuesday. So they sort of spat out a team there. I'm not sure how that one's going to run out on game day. Just looking at it, pretty similar. Knocked out a pretty similar side to last week. Jumper number 22, a bit like Latrell last week. Jumper number 22, maybe. Jumper number 22 has a big impact. I was down there at training today. Cody was training. Looked like he got through the session. It wasn't quite in all the first team reps. They still had Ward and Humphreys doing the majority of that. Obviously, this week's a special week. It's the Indigenous round for us. It's our home game out there at Allianz Stadium. Looks like there's going to be quite a bumper crowd out there. So get your tickets. You can get 20% discount for other people, members. If you've got a reserved seat, make sure you put that code in. If you've got a GA ticket, you can get straight in. It's going to be big, mate. The Greg Inglis picking the GI medal. Kathy Freeman will be out there. They've got the artist there, 3%. You'll be out there performing. They've got a pre-game. I think it's about 5 o'clock. They've got A reserves, Lapperoos Panthers versus the Redfern All Blacks. That'll be good. There's a genuine semi-final in the South Juniors competition. Shout out to our great sponsors, the Juniors. Yeah, we've got the big game there against Parramatta Eels. Shaq Mitchell, he was pretty sharp at training today. Got that real nice tip on in the middle of the field. Brandon Smith adds a lot, real verbal in the training sessions. Really lifts the spirits out there. Latrell Mitchell on the same side as Dean Hawkins. I think that'll be a bit of a task trying to get either him or Tallis Duncan one-on-one with Dean. They know his strengths and weaknesses, and he's had a great season over there at Parramatta. It's been a good move for him personally. Could be a revenge game for Dean Hawkins too. Be looking to get one over the team that let him go, let him walk out the door. Ty Munro could be a possible inclusion on that right wing for Bailey Bentley-Harpe. We'll see. I'm not going to toss any predictions out there. I thought Cam was going to be back next week after seeing. I didn't even see him out there at all today. So Keon was out there moving around. Looked pretty strong, Keon. He couldn't be too far away. Michaeli Ravalawa could be a late inclusion for New South Wales Cup this week. He got through a session today. Could be very interesting. Just only going to do a real quick episode here today. But yeah, definitely, if you're going to get out there, it's going to be our home ground eventually. I think maybe next year they might go to 2-3 games as a home game. But look, for myself, I'm still living in the area. I'm lucky enough to still live in the area. It's the best stadium in Sydney for rugby league, in my opinion. And I look forward to going out there every time we get the opportunity. I won't go and watch anyone else. Not interested in watching other teams. Just want to watch the mighty South Sydney Rabbitohs. I know Joshy Kemp and the crew, they're going to be out there in full voice. They support the move back there. They reckon it's going to be better for the borough, the greatest supporters group in Australia. If you get a chance, jump on their podcast too. It's on YouTube. It's also on Spotify and Apple. Jump on and have a look at there. They're putting out some great content. Some of that post-match reactions. Now, we haven't had a win for since the 18th of May. I'll make a correction. I said the 9th of May in the last show. It's the 18th of May. So jump on and have a look at it. There's some great fan reactions out of the Gold Coast game. Some real great, passionate supporters. Get on there, and just that great feeling you get when you're walking out of the ground and you've won the game. So, and congratulations to Kempy and Mickey Tasker, who go to every game. I think Cody as well went to all the games this year. It's the first genuine away game they've had a win at. So that would have been a good feeling for the guys just walking out there and flying home and all that sort of stuff. They brought home the 2 points. Well done there, boys. So look, interested to see how we go. I mean, Latrell Mitchell, the inclusion of him, and Brandon Smith, what he does to a lineup. He made us look like a totally different side. Just how powerful that little fella is, how verbal he is out there. He keeps the spirits high. Yeah, really interesting. Not sure how much the lineup's going to change, but I think there will be team players 1 to 7, and I don't think it runs out like that. That's about the only tip I'll give you there. There's also New South Wales Cup. They're on this week on the Saturday, so you could do a really big day out there if you wanted. I think the women are on, and then the men's New South Wales Cup. Just looking at that team, gazing over it. As I said, maybe Michaeli Ravalawa comes into that team. Hazen Mellor's outstanding last week. Matthew Humphries, another great game. He takes another step towards being a full-time professional first grader. He's able to play full-time next year. Looking forward to that. Look, there was an interesting 18th man there. Zach Sadler played 3 first-grade games for Manly. He's a front rower back in 2021. Not sure if he comes into the mix. They're always trying to build on front row depth. I think Devante Metinui has shown that he can take that next step. I mean, Tim Johansson's been a good addition. Whakaosi, Atata, big men. You can't have enough big men in your team. Obviously, they're only part-timers. They're not going to be able to be used. Talanoa Penatani, not named, as I said in the last episode, picked up a slight injury. They're playing for the Sattler and Kelly Cup. A couple of great names of rugby league. In the Jersey Flag, they're actually playing at Lidcombe on Saturday at 2 p.m. at the same time against the West Tigers. Charlie Point in great form, Charlie. Great opportunity for one of our young up-and-coming strapping centres in Dane Jennings. He gets his Jersey Flag debut. Zane Rugler's still out injured. Charlie Mann, the big fella. First laid eyes on him a couple of years ago in the Harold Matthews, a big, strong outside back. He comes into the side. They push the classy Daniel Wright out onto the wing. Nicholas Quinn comes back in. Just that real steady halfback. And probably other gazing performances. Cody Hill, he's had a couple of games now. He's got a really good pass out of dummy half. Good work rate. He got a great cover tackle just before half-time against the Roosters last week. And one of our boys there, Maddox Fui, who's going to be a part-time player next year. The following year, he's a supplementary player in 2027 and a top 30 player 2028. Maddox Fui, he gets his opportunity too. So they're starting to blood a few guys in that department. The Harvey Norman Women's, who are just flying at the moment, they're playing in the first game at Redfern on Saturday. So you can really get as much footy in as you want. You go watch the South Sydney Rabbitohs v Parramatta Eels at 11:30. You hang around, you watch the Reggies. Go over and watch the A reserves for the A grade and then first grade. What a combo that is. Or you can go over and watch Jersey Flag if you like. But yeah, they're playing really well. 4th position on the ladder at the moment. They might be able to advance up even a little bit higher if they can. One of those teams above them has a loss. They might jump up in there. But plenty of reasons to get out and support your mighty South Sydney Rabbitohs this week. I won't take up too much more of your time there, but I know I'll be getting out there with some family and friends. Plenty of people coming from all over the area. I've been chatting to people. There's a real buzz around town about it. Look, I'll be surprised if we don't get up well north of 25,000. Parramatta's travelling really well. They've grafted out a few wins. They've been very competitive. Had a slow start to the year. Coach Jason Riles has really got that team humming. They've got a great reserve grade, a very strong flag team. They were in the grand final in the under-19s. They've got a lot of good young players coming through Parramatta. They're not going to be no pushovers. South Sydney are going to have to be at their best to give themselves an opportunity at the back end of that game. And look, don't be surprised if the one tip I will give you, maybe Cody Walker comes off the bench in this game just to ease him into it. We'll see. But yeah, that might be about it here from Rabbitohs Radio Podcast. Up the mighty Rabbitohs.